Fear was one prison that I knew I could be confined in, but there was another one that could have held me bondage. And that was the prison of unforgiveness. Somehow early on, I knew that I could be locked up in that prison and I would be the one that would be suffering. But one of the ways that God taught me about forgiveness is teaching me about what forgiveness is and what it is not. He taught me that forgiveness is releasing someone from a debt that they owe to me, that I could release them from that debt, sever the debt, and trust that God would take care of that. And for Matt, he said, you can release Matt, no matter how devastating, no matter how devious the intent. You can release his debt to you because I can take care of that. And by releasing, you're set free. I learned that forgiveness is not condoning evil. Forgiveness is not saying it's okay what happened. It's not forgetting what happened. I still had memory. It wasn't denying that that was something wrong. Forgiveness didn't even mean that Matt had to say, I'm sorry, to be able to forgive him, or that he ever had to be repentant. It didn't mean that justice wouldn't happen for what took place. And it didn't even mean that there would be reconciliation between us. Forgiveness was something that I could choose to give, regardless of his response, because it would set me free. Forgiveness was a gift, and often it's said, forgiveness sets the prisoner free, and the prisoner that's set free is me. But I also realized there was another prison that I could be caught in, and that was the prison of victimhood. Something had happened to me, and I could see myself as a victim. And while the courts called me a victim, and while there were a lot of great resources for those that had gone through difficult things, which is all good and right, something could happen that would be detrimental to my life, and that I'd start seeing myself as with the identity of victim and fall into victimhood, where I saw myself as powerless and helpless against the great forces against me, and I shrunk back and retreated into a place of self-protection. And when that identity at its very core began to be broken, something changed. I saw that something had happened to me, but I wasn't helpless and hopeless against it. That there were choices that I could make that would make a difference, that I could rise above this event, that it wasn't going to control me, but I could rise above, and my life could be set free from victimhood. And part of that freeing process was, as we spoke about, offering forgiveness. Because when I fail to forgive, I lock myself in victimhood. When I choose to stay offended by somebody, I lock myself in that place of victimhood.